Tonight, in a startling out-and-about expose, Peter is off to investigate the nooks and the crannies of a gay men's sauna. So come along as we investigate what goes on after it all comes off.
Can I ask you a few questions?
Darling, it all depends on what you're going to be asking.
Have you ever been to a sauna?
Yes.
Well, have you ever been to one?
Yeah.
Yeah. How do you feel about them?
It was hot.
I'm going to ask you about saunas.
Saunas? Are we talking about the male sorts or the female sorts?
So have you ever been to a sauna?
I can't say I have.
How do you feel about them?
It depends on which city you're in.
Oh, they change from city to city?
Absolutely, the crowd does, yeah.
Which is your favourite city?
Probably New York, I reckon.
Have you ever been to a sauna before?
Yes, I have.
It's a great idea. It just, keeps gay sex out of the public eye. It's somewhere where people can go and be discreet about it.
How do you feel about them?
Oh, they're not bad, they're okay.
How did you enjoy it?
I was really nervous.
So you enjoyed it?
No.
You didn't enjoy it?
No.
How did you cope with being nervous?
Well, I sort of followed what everyone was doing and, hid around corners. It's like everyone has to hide in a dark corner and watch people walk past them.
How do you feel about saunas and the lack of for women?
Well, I'm starting to think that the gay men really have it all at the moment, and us women are really starting to lack in that whole release business. I think there should be a lot more saunas, otherwise I'm going to have to get a dually sewed on and go to the gay man's ones.
I guess I enjoy the chase more than anything. I prefer to go to a place where there are less expectations, and you go to a sauna and people there are not only expecting something but they're also prepared for it. They're kind of undressed and ready, and I'm a bit old-fashioned.
Do you think you could pass as a man with a dually sewed on?
I'm not quite sure. If it's dark, maybe. Otherwise, I think the breasts might give it away.
Have you had any unusual experiences at one?
Yes, I have, actually.
Yeah, what was that?
Oh, I just had a whole bunch of guys following me around a couple of years ago.
What, just...
And I wasn't really interested,
How do you deal with that?
I just had to turn around and say, look, sorry, I'm not interested, and just went down and sat down and watched the movie, and that was about it until I found someone that sort of pleased me.
How did they react when you said, no, I'm not interested?
Not in a bad way or anything, it just, they just turned around and walked off.
I mean, there's a lot of women out there, I'm sure, like me, that would like to get it on when you got nothing.
And how about you? You're a seasoned sauna goer, or...?
I wouldn't say seasoned. I've been to one or two, yeah.
Yeah, and how do you feel about it?
Oh, I find it sort of not my cup of tea. I'm a bit more of a passionate, old-fashioned sort of person. I like a bit of passion in sort of sex.
It's a lot easier for the man to get it on in a bush or in a sauna or such, as with the women. It's a little bit more delicate and a little bit more detailed than that.
How would you describe saunas then?
Dark, sleazy, dank.
Dark and dirty.
Pick up somebody and take them off to a bedroom.
Any advice for a first-timer? How do I score?
Well, try and act natural.
Okay.
It's not like you have to put on pretenses and pretend to be someone that you're not, because it's not all about that. It's not like the club scene or anything like that.
A lot of the high-profile people or organisers happen to be men. The men are catered for a lot more.
Yeah.
So I think the women need to put their big boots on and get up there with the organisers, and who knows, maybe then there'll be more saunas.
Did you get lucky?
Yes.
Come over to my house and we'll start one happening real soon.
Would you ever go to a sauna, do you think?
I'm not sure. What are you doing after?
Well, here I am. I've bitten the bullet and I'm outside On Wellington. I'm going to go inside and see what a sauna is really like. Hi, thanks. Just one, thanks. Thanks. Okay. Thank you very much. See ya. with the sauna manager, Will. How long has this sauna been in existence for?
About 3 months. We opened Easter weekend this year.
Okay, so relatively new.
Fairly new indeed, yes.
And you have 2 other saunas, isn't it? Where are they and how long have they been around?
Bay City at Elstonwick and one in Seaford.
Okay. So, and how long have they been around for?
Seaford one's been open for 10 years and we bought an existing one in Elstonwick. We've been operating that now for 7.
So you've been in the sauna game for a while now?
A fair while, yes.
Okay, and so what sort of changes have you seen in the sauna business over the years?
Well, only as much as that with this new one here now, we've tried to increase the facilities and to make it a more entertainment centre where people can actually remain for a period of time and without being harassed and really enjoy things like a bar, which never existed before, license never existed before, a beautiful 25-metre pool. So we have our facility here which enables people to really spend a period of time and not just for sex reasons, just to be entertained.
And do people spend a lot of time here?
They do, yes. I've many times people get here right on opening and I come in 2 o'clock in the morning and they're still here, so they're having a wonderful time.
Bring in their little overnight bag and have a stay.
Absolutely.
There you go.
They certainly do that at the weekends because we open 12 midday Friday right through till Monday morning.
Okay. Cheaper than a hotel, guys. What sort of people come to saunas?
Look, I think a whole cross-section of the community. Married men, bisexual men, gay community, guys, look, everyone.
Okay, so the people that you see out in the clubs and the bars are the same people that come to saunas?
Absolutely, absolutely, and then some.
Oh, really?
There are probably a lot of people who don't go to clubs and bars and actually come here in preference to doing the bars and things because it's so congenial. I mean, it's here to be entertained. It's not pressured. You don't have to prove anything to yourself. You're just here to have a good time.
And do you know if you get many married men or people that would be seen to be in the closet?
Oh, absolutely. There's a good percentage of that. Certainly they're the group that wouldn't be going to the nightclubs and things because they're probably going home to their families and children and so on. And you see them often early in the day rather than late at night, so that, straight after work and this sort of thing, they come in and they leave. They're ones that are usually here on the mission and leave fairly quickly afterwards.
Now, have you ever had to throw anyone out or ban anyone from the sauna?
No, we generally tend to, before they enter the premises, we tend to view the situation whether they're highly intoxicated or whether they're not suitable. That's mainly through intoxication or that might create a danger within the premises. So we try to screen them before they come in and then we don't have any problems at all.
Do you have to be a muscle Mary or pretty boy to come here?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. It's just everybody and anyone. And it's we certainly don't discriminate and really, there is a cross-section of people and there's always something here for everyone.
What sort of sauna etiquette is there that I should know about?
Look, that's an interesting question. Something that's a body language, underlying body language that seems to occur. We've never introduced it, but it seems to happen that people have a sense of respect for each other, and if a cubicle's being used, automatically the light goes on and we know that that's a cubicle to be cleaned. I don't know how that all evolved, but it just happened this way.
Could I meet the love of my life here?
You actually can. In fact, many have. There's one guy I hadn't seen for years and years, and of course I walk up the street and there he is and said, "Oh, how are you going?" He said, "Oh, fabulous. Oh, I've got a partner now." And so, there was a nice outcome.
Is that bad for business if they get a partner?
I have seen other incidents happen where I've seen them back about a year later and I talked to them and said, "Well, I've had a most disastrous break-up," and so they're back here again with a big smile and off they go again.
Now, what if I come here and I don't get lucky? What else can I do?
This is why we have this wonderful facility here. You're here to have a good time, relax, and just enjoy the facilities we have. There are video lounges, spa, steam room. These are all natural health therapies which are really very good for you. You don't always have to have sex. In fact, a lot of them here don't have sex, and they just love the ambience and mixing with people. It becomes a social event for a lot of people. Sometimes here Sunday mornings we have a group that are falling out of nightclubs, and they come here later on, and before you know it, they're having brunch with a few drinks and things, and there's a great gathering, and the voice accelerates, and they have a wonderful time.
Do you actually have a cafe restaurant? Is that an unusual thing?
Well, it is, yes, but we have a full-on restaurant with a fabulous menu, wine list, and so on.
How does the crowd differ depending on the day or the time of day?
That's difficult to say. There's never one single day where the same faces. It's like really of a transient nature.
Okay.
Sometimes you get, the workers come after work during the holidays. Well, these last couple of weeks where there have been school holidays, we get a lot of university students in and stuff, like early in the day and maybe late at night. Of course, then clubbers come in. It's difficult. It's so difficult to say. Weekends are more inclined to be clubbers and people falling out of hotels and things to come in here just to chill out.
What about different saunas in different areas? Do they attract different people?
I'm quite sure they do. Well, we certainly do have a different clientele, say, at Seaford, and Elswick again, a different clientele also. Seaford tends to, a lot of straight men come to Seaford. It's a bit out of the way, it's in a factory area, and it's discreet, and they find, a real niche down there. I would say 70% of the men down there would have either been married or in a bisexual arrangement. So that's from our observation.
What about safe sex? How do you deal with that?
Well, we collaborate with the VAC and certainly the Human Health Resources people. We provide all the possible precautions that we can under the circumstances. We can't make decisions for the patrons, but certainly we have condoms and lube and signs everywhere to suggest they should indulge in safe sex. We have weekly STD testing that come from the Human Resources people, and so we can only create an environment which is conducive to safe sex.
And you have an outreach worker that comes here too, don't you?
Yes, we do. He comes once a week, usually Friday nights, and he encourages guys to just have a free STD test. It's done in lovely private circumstances, and a bit of counselling as well if it's necessary.
If I sit down while I'm taking a wander around the place, am I likely to sit in a sticky mess?
Most unlikely. We do cubicle rounds, our cleaners do cubicle rounds every half hour and so on. They mop and sterilise each cubicle as they do the rounds. So most unlikely, and if by chance that one cubicle hasn't been cleaned, usually you'll find that the light will be on bright and you'll be able to see before you enter that room.
Having sex in this venue is safer than having it at home almost.
In fact, unfortunately, I had to say one thing that one of the clients said, I think this place is a bit sterile. I said, well, we've got to keep it clean. He said, yes, I understand that. He said, well, it reminds me of McDonald's.
Now, have you had any funny stories or bizarre stories or found any strange bits of lost property?
Well, certainly a piece of lost property. That's a regular feature. There could be anything from a collection of fruit and vegetables to lacy knickers and little bras and strange little arrangements that people put on their bodies.
Oh, you ever wonder what's this doing here?
Well, exactly. But you think, well, somebody's having fun.
How you doing, Katie?
I'm here with David Lee. Now, what's your role here at On Wellington?
I'm a sexual health nurse employed by the Melbourne Sexual Health Centre, and my role is one of outreach, and what I offer is free anonymous testing to patrons who visit the premises, specifically for two infections, gonorrhea and chlamydia at this stage. We approach patrons that attend sex on premises venues and invite them to participate in screening for the two infections. We collect the specimens, usually 3 specimens, one from the throat, back of the throat. We ask them for a urine specimen as well as a rectal swab. We send it away for testing in the labs, and it takes about a week for the results to come back. Okay. And then we provide them with a 1-800 number, a free call number that they can call in a week's time after testing to get the results.
So it's fairly thorough testing then?
It is just specifically for two infections, gonorrhea and chlamydia at this stage.
Why is it just the 2 infections at the moment?
Well, we have seen quite a bit of a rise in both of these infections in men who have sex with other men. We don't really know what's going on, but I suppose, we've also seen an increase in HIV infections. So it could be a number of things. It could be burnout from the HIV/AIDS issue. It could be complacency. Could be unsafe sex. I mean, I suppose it's multifactorial. It's quite a number of reasons. We can't really pinpoint, just one.
So what's it like doing outreach work in a sauna?
Well, it's very different from doing the usual clinical work that I normally do. I suppose in the sauna, we have to approach clients rather than the other way around, whereas when we're doing clinical work, it's patients that actually come to see us with a problem.
How do you approach them? I mean, do you knock on the cubicle doors and say, "Excuse me, I don't mean to interrupt"? What do you do?
No, we don't do that. There are very specific guidelines as to where and whereabouts we can go in the sauna. Don't go to the dark areas. Usually, if someone has come down and sat down for a cup of coffee, perhaps, we would approach them then and introduce myself, give them a bit of a spiel about what I'm doing, invite them to participate.
What's the reaction like on that?
Well, it varies. There are people that just, won't have a bar to do with you. They'll just not want you to even approach them, and there are the others that are extremely friendly and interested in what you're doing, and on the other spectrum there are those that haven't actually seen their GP or come across a healthcare professional for years, and they're just sort of happy to see you and talk about health problems, health issues. As it is, most sexually transmissible infections, people are asymptomatic or they don't actually have any signs and symptoms. So the only way that one will know that they have been exposed to it or infected will be through a screening process.
Any rewarding experiences during your outreach work?
Definitely, yes. I have had quite a lot of rewarding experiences. Earlier I mentioned that, there are quite a few people out there who haven't seen a health professional, a doctor or a GP for ages. And, it's always rewarding to sort of have these people approach you or you approach them and dispel any myths and misconceptions they may have about STIs or sex per se or sexuality. A chap that came in some time ago who wasn't very particularly sure of his sexuality and actually saw our a board out in the coffee area, lounge area, and read the message and came in and spoke to me and wanted to know quite a bit about sexuality and sex on premises venues. It was his first time in one. He wasn't particularly comfortable, but I suppose he really needed to get more information.
The Melbourne Sexual Health Centre, what's that all about?
Okay, the Melbourne Sexual Health Centre is located at 580 Swanston Street in the city, and it's just across the road from Lincoln Square. It's easily accessible by tram. It's a walk-in centre. We are open Monday to Thursday 9 to 5. Thursday we've got an evening clinic from 5 to 7:30, I believe, but that's by appointments only. And on Fridays we are open from 1:30 to 5. People just walk off the streets. They don't need to bring their Medicare card or their driver's license or any form of identification. While we encourage people to give us their true information like correct name and date of birth, we do say to them that if they so wish, they can remain anonymous. And I think it's about the only clinic in Victoria, I might be wrong, but it might be the only clinic in Victoria that actually offers a service like that. Obviously the primary aim is in regards to sexual health, so sexually transmissible infections, sexual health, other manners of sexual health, HIV follow-up. So, and there's also anywhere from nurse practitioners, doctors, specialised in venereology, to counsellors that provide
So it covers
a
everything.
service. It covers everything.
Well, there you go. I survived the sauna. And look out, girls, because there are regular nights at the sauna for you as well.
If you would like to get in contact with us, write to Post Office Box 6256, St Kilda Road Central 8008. Email us on benttv@bigpond.com or telephone 9517 0125.